Hey, glad you keep coming back. Here we go. We're going to talk about evaluating functions right now. Remember, a function is just f of x. F of x is y, interchangeable. F of x just gives us more specifics. It can tell me what to put into my function, where y doesn't really tell me what to put in to the function. All right, so here we go. We have f of x equals 3x plus 1. And it says, okay, what's f of 4? Well, f of 4 is where x is, so that tells me that I need to plug 4 in where x is in my equation. So f of 4 would equal 3 times, because that's a multiplication relationship right here, the 3x, so 3 times 4 plus 1. So I simplify that. 3 times 4 is 12, then plus 1, so I get 13. So f of 4 is 13. That is what we're doing when we evaluate functions. We're saying that when x is 4, y is 13. It gives us an ordered point, lets us know where we're at on this function. That's what we're doing. Okay, so let's look at our next one. Now we have f of x equals x squared plus 3. What is f of negative 3? So remember, this is our x, so we plug it in. But a big thing here is this is x squared. So always use parentheses when you substitute in, because it can lead to funky weird things and you'll be sad, cry sad tears. All right, so this is what I mean. We have f of negative 3, and I'm plugging into that x squared. I'm going to use my parentheses for the x part. So negative 3 is in parentheses with the squared out here. That makes a massive difference in what your solution will come out to. Okay, all right. Remember that when we square something, it's the same thing as it tells you to multiply it times itself twice, right? So this negative 3 squared is negative 3 times negative 3. And then we just start, that's an F, sorry, sometimes it doesn't like to write. Nice. All right. So negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9 plus 3. So f of negative 3 is going to give me 12, which would be on my graph. I'm at the point negative 3, 12 right now within this function up here. Okay. That's what it is. Here's why I'm telling you to make sure you write it in those parentheses. I'm just going to erase a little bit here real quick, because I want you to see what happens, what could happen if you didn't. If we just said, hey, negative 3, all right, so I have negative 3 squared plus 3. What this is actually saying is just square the 3. So I would have negative times 3 plus 3. So now I would have actually negative 9 plus 3, which is not what we want. We want that positive 9. So always make sure when you substitute in, you put it into the parentheses and the exponents on the outside. Okay? All right. I'm going to erase that wrong stuff. Don't do that. Do it the right way that we did it the first time. All right. Let's look at this last one. So f of x equals x cubed minus 4. F of negative 1. So again, x is now negative 1, so that's what's going to go in my parentheses. So I'm going to have f of negative 1 equals x, so I have negative 1 in parentheses, exponent on the outside of those parentheses. That's a 3. I know it looks super dope, but it's okay. All right. Cubed means times itself 3 times, so negative 1 times negative 1 times, I'm going to run out of space. All right, so times itself 3 times. All right, so then this would give me negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Positive 1 times negative 1, I'm back to negative 1, minus 4. And then my final simplifying here, negative 1 minus 4. So I'm at negative 1 and I'm going lower. So I end up at negative 5. Which tells me I am currently at negative 1, negative 5 on my graph of this function. That's what evaluating functions is.